This is TrendDesk Network, bringing you fast updates and clear insights on the world's biggest stories. Today, we're covering a dramatic and unprecedented development in global politics. The United States has launched a major military strike on Venezuela, capturing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, in an overnight operation that has stunned the international community. This is one of the most significant U.S. interventions in Latin America in decades. The consequences will be far-reaching, and the world is already reacting. Let's break down what happened, why it happened, and what this means for the future of Venezuela and the region. In the early hours of January 3, 2026, the city of Caracas was shaken by a series of powerful explosions. Residents reported hearing jets roaring overhead, followed by flashes of light and smoke rising from military bases and strategic sites across the capital. According to U.S. officials, this was part of a coordinated, multi-phase strike ordered directly by President Donald Trump. The operation targeted air defense systems, command centers, and communication hubs across northern Venezuela. Elite U.S. military units, including Special Operations Forces, were deployed on the ground. Their mission: capture Nicolás Maduro and neutralize key elements of his security apparatus. Within hours, the United States announced that Maduro and his wife had been taken into custody and flown out of the country. The operation was described as swift, precise, and overwhelmingly successful. Shortly after the strike, President Trump addressed the nation. He confirmed that Maduro had been captured and declared that the United States would temporarily oversee Venezuela's transition. He stated that the goal was to stabilize the country, restore order, and support a new political framework. Trump also emphasized that Maduro would face criminal charges in the United States, including long-standing allegations of corruption and involvement in drug trafficking. The announcement immediately sparked global debate. Supporters called it a decisive move against authoritarianism. Critics questioned the legality of the operation and warned of potential geopolitical fallout. To understand the magnitude of this moment, it's important to look at the long and troubled relationship between the United States and Venezuela. For years, Venezuela has been engulfed in economic collapse, political turmoil, and widespread humanitarian suffering. Under Maduro's leadership, the country faced severe shortages of food, medicine, and basic goods, hyperinflation that wiped out savings, mass migration, with millions fleeing to neighboring countries, accusations of election fraud and political repression, alleged ties to criminal and paramilitary networks. The United States had previously imposed sanctions, supported opposition movements, and increased military presence in the region. Tensions escalated sharply in recent months, with intelligence reports suggesting growing instability and potential threats to regional security. The January 3rd strike was the culmination of these rising tensions. Inside Venezuela, the situation remains tense and unpredictable. Officials loyal to Maduro condemned the strike as an act of aggression, accusing the United States of violating national sovereignty. They claimed that civilian areas were affected and vowed to resist foreign intervention. At the same time, many Venezuelans, especially those aligned with the opposition, expressed relief and even celebration. For them, Maduro's capture represents a possible turning point after years of hardship. However, the country is far from stable. Key military leaders are unaccounted for. Some regions have reported sporadic clashes, and uncertainty hangs over the future of governance, security, and daily life. The global reaction has been swift and deeply divided. Some nations express support, arguing that Maduro's removal could open the door to democratic reform and humanitarian relief. Others condemn the operation as a dangerous precedent, warning that unilateral military action could destabilize the region. Neighboring countries expressed concern about the scale of the strikes and the potential for spillover effects. International organizations called for restraint, transparency, and a clear plan for Venezuela's political transition. The world is now watching closely to see how the United States manages its temporary control and how long this transitional period will last. The capture of Nicolás Maduro marks a historic turning point, but the path forward is uncertain. Several critical questions remain. Who will lead Venezuela during the transition period? How will the United States balance security, governance, and humanitarian needs? Will Maduro's supporters attempt to regroup or resist? How will global powers, including Russia, China, and Cuba, respond to the U.S. intervention? And most importantly, what does this mean for the Venezuelan people who have endured years of crisis? U.S. officials have indicated that no further military action is expected at this time, but the situation is fluid, and the potential for unrest or geopolitical escalation remains high. The U.S. strike on Venezuela and the capture of Nicolás Maduro represent one of the most dramatic geopolitical events of the decade. It is a moment that will reshape alliances, test international norms, and redefine the balance of power in Latin America. As new developments unfold, TrendDesk Network will continue to bring you clear, concise, and reliable updates. Stay informed, stay aware. This is TrendDesk Network. Fast updates, clear insights.